Well, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, this week's repair, it's not actually a restore, but it is out of an old car, is this little fella. A Mitsubishi electric 8-track stereo. So we've got a repair job on this fella. He's a bit dirty there at the moment. Stereo 8, radio AM. So there's no FM on this little fella. He's probably in around late 60s. Not real sure. We might do a little bit of investigation on this fella, but no model number or anything. Nothing on the back. Here we've got aerial socket, power, and 2 speaker leads, left and right. So that's all there is on him. An on-off volume, and I would say maybe a tone. Over here, I would say balance and tuning, which appears to work fine. That seems to be going okay. So we'll go and clean him up and have a bit of a look at this fella and see just what we can do with him. It's, as I said, is a repair job for a customer of mine. And I think the customer said the 8-track doesn't work. So could be a belt, could be anything. So let's clean him up. Let's get into him. We've given him a little bit of a clean up. And on the top there is a model number. It is an ATP. I guess it's an audio tape player. 7016 maybe. No, the camera may pick up, if I can get it focused, may pick up that better than what I can actually see it. So there's the model number anyway, an ATP 7016 by the look of that. Okay, let's slip the top off him. Now, I think this top should just lift off. Give you guys a look. You see the problem? Yes. I would say that there is the problem. That looks like about a 2mm square belt, which we can probably use an old video belt. Well, not an old one, a new video belt to repair this fella. Now, that seems to spin okay. Motor spins okay. Clean him all up inside. I think I'll take him out, get the compressor, and blow out the dust and dirt that we've got. He's not too bad inside, but yeah, then we'll go through, lubricate what has to be lubricated, clean our pots, check the caps, but most of the time in these little radios, really don't have any problems with the capacitors. Tuning wise, these things just never give trouble, but we will throw it on the generator and just tweak him up and see what he's like. So doesn't look like the bottom comes off. This is all, maybe it does. No, this is all in one. Here we've got our head alignment, which is head azimuth, I guess. It says head fine. Not familiar, but we might try and get a a little manual on this anyway. Aerial trimmer, obviously, there. So there he is. Bearing seems very good on the flywheel of the 8-track. So anyway, we'll go and clean him out, brush him up a bit, and we'll come back. Clean him up with a cotton bud and a bit of metho in there, just to get some of the grot off. The other two things we need to clean is the head, of course, the capstan spindle itself. Now, I'm unsure of how this comes out. Certainly doesn't lift. We'll probably just put a cotton bud down in there beside him and give him a spin and make sure he's clean. We also need to clean the head, which is, a standard stereo head, as the head moves up and down. And the little contacts on the track change or end of tape sensor, which a metal strip of aluminium goes across the contacts, and this mechanism changes position, changes the height of the head to suit the next track. After track 4, it goes back down to track 1. Okay, we'll give the head a clean. Now, I'm using isopropyl alcohol here. Well, just pretty hard to see in there, but you guys would probably see what I'm doing there. Right, we'll use another cotton bud and we'll give the capstan a spin. Actually, he's very clean. Just looking in here. So not too bad at all. The pinch roller, of course, is in the 8-track cartridge, which I shall grab in a moment. A little bit of dirt around this area. And then we're going to make sure the head assembly is free to move and goes up and down. Which it seems to. We click that. Goes 1. That's going down actually. 2, 3, and comes back up. So that's track 1 playing there now. Click him there. Track 2. Click him again. Track 3. Click him again. Track 4. And if we click him again, he jumps back up. The head comes back up to channel 1. So that's how the mechanism works there, and it's certainly working very well. We'll put some oil on the motor. We'll get some oil in on this little fellow, just in on the capstan there, on the bearing. But it certainly appears to be running nicely. Now, another thing here is the audio switch, which switches various things. Switches the lights to tell us what program it's on, which goes to here, and your lights are in there. And also switches, mutes your head arrangement when it's going between tracks. So that little switch in there And the light's not real crash hot, but that little switch, we need to put some cleaner in him and give him a little bit of a jiggle around. Just wondering the best way of, there we go. I'll grab some cleaner. Spray some cleaner in there. And that should be good. The next part we've got to make sure is clean, very clean, is our switch, which changes our tracks from one track to the next. I've also looked up actually this model is on Radio Museum, and it's in around 1975. They're not exact on the history of this, but in around, I'd say between 74 and 76, this unit would have been in lots of cars, including apparently the mighty Volvo. So, very posh radio. Okay, well, now look at a little bit of oil on our tuning, our actual coupling there for the tuning. Just need a little bit of oil on that. Very careful, don't get it on the string, otherwise we end up with a problem there. Tiny little bit in there. It's running nicely. Now, this would be the balance pot between the two channels. Give him a little squirt. And we'll also give him a little bit of a squirt at the top here to free him up a bit. He's a little bit, there we go, a little bit sticky, but certainly a lot better now. You can feel the indent in the centre going quite freely. That would be the balance. This one is the tone control, and that fellow changes tracks, by the way, which is a switch on the back of the pot. A little bit in there, a bit in there, and of course that's the volume pot. Now I'm going to put a little bit in the top because they're both a little bit sticky. I don't like putting WD-40 onto these. Okay, he's running quite nicely now. So pretty sure that's tone, but we'll soon know when we get him going. That's nice and free now. What else have we got to do to him? Let's put a little bit of lube, if we can get to it, just down the back of the pulley on the motor. And yeah, I knew that would go on the pulley, but anyway, we'll have to clean him up. And that's running very free, nice and smooth. Okay, we'll clean this fella up and we'll go and find one of these things that doesn't look like that one. Might be joined up there. Appears to be the same size. Flip him on and see what happens. That's good. It's not too tight, not too loose. That should do the job. And that's a new belt out of a one of the video kits for doing videos. Right, now we've got that on. Let's have a look at a tape in this, and I'll show you how those work. A lot of my viewers are of the younger generation as well, and they've probably never seen one of these. So yeah, it's let's have a little bit closer look at an 8-track. As you can see, a little bit bigger than a cassette. You've got, this is a little bit old for most of you guys, but we've got Herb Albert and the Chihuahua Brass. So we'll that's what we've got for a tape. Now in the end, you've got a continuous tape here with 4 different tracks on it. There's our pinch roller. So when we push him in, it actually pushes up against that roller. So just to load these, that's it. It's loaded. There's no more to be done. Just that. That's what they look like. And there's some of the details on them. Let's fire this thing up. We'll need 12 volts. And for the moment, 1 speaker. We'll just put 1 speaker on him. I don't need 2 connected right at the moment. So we'll get some volts out of our power supply and see how we go. Right, I've got 12 volts and current limited at 2 amps for this fella. I have no idea why there's been 2 fuse holders on this. But it's like this when it come out of the car. I won't change it. It's not my radio. So, and now it is negative earth and negative earth only. We'll connect our speaker, and we're using 1 speaker, so it doesn't matter which way around they go. Does matter when we're putting it back in the car. Negative to both speakers, negative. Okay, turn him on. And we have some sort of noise. Let's put something in the aerial socket so that we can get something happening here. Okay, got my trusty aerial in, which is a screwdriver shoved in the end of it. And we certainly have it. Your pickables. All sorts of interference in here. Okay, now while we're doing this, we will change to the other channel and make sure we've got both channels working. And it is. That's it. Okay, that is actually balanced. This one's tone. And now we'll try one of these crazy things. And we're on track 3, it says, right there. And let's see if we get any sort of music happening, which should happen soon, I thought. But nothing is happening. Let's change tracks. Ooh. Okay. Track 1. And we're now on track 1. As you can see there, we must be towards the end of track 1, track 2, and most of us will know that one. Track 3, track 4, track 1. Okay, track 2. Okay, we better not put too much of that on there, otherwise we'll get our copyright strike. So that's working nicely. What I'm going to do now, off camera, is align the head, which is only a matter of that little screw underneath, just adjusting the azimuth of the head. Can't do it on the camera, because once again we'll get a copyright strike from Mr. YouTube. Okay then, we'll do that and we'll be back. Now, to give you a little bit closer look of the head, which is in there, which is inside the tape there. Our mechanism over here, we've got a little solenoid here that clicks into gear, and a couple of little gears underneath, which, put this little fella just up and down as a turn. It's a little cam gear. So, okay, let's watch. Click him once. You can see him move down twice. Moves down. Moves down. And now he'll come right back to the top. There you go. There. And we'll leave it at that. So that's how our little 8-track works. I just thought you'd like to see that. All our lights are working on this little board. It changes as you saw earlier, which is that fella there. That's your program number. And you can see that it changes as we go through. So all is good. We will now take this cover off, clean him up so he's a little bit nicer, and we can more or less assume this one is complete. Right, the front's all back on. So it must be time to cover him up. The radio is working perfectly. I'm not going to do anything with the alignment at all. It appears to be absolutely perfect. The customer will be very happy with this. So let's put the top on and call it complete. Well, guys, there he is, complete. All running nicely, ready to return to the customer. I hope you've enjoyed this shorter video of mine today on an 8-track. And I hope you young fellas out there have learned a little bit about, back in our day, what was the next big thing, which was 8-tracks for a while. But then, of course, the cassettes come along and sort of killed it, and then CDs. And now we don't even see them. Okay, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you want to follow me on my journey through this YouTube thing, showing you a little bit about my repairs. Okay then, until next time, it's bye for now.